Hey there, Richard Matharoo here. So what happens if you lack results or you're brand new and you're leaning on your upline, right? You're thinking, well, my life's not that exciting, so I'll just point to someone's that is, which could probably be your upline or the company or your upline's upline, right? I don't advise you to do that at all unless you are doing it in a very specific way, which I'll teach you the whole process in this very training. Because if you don't do what I'm about to teach you, yes, you may get some level of success, but it's like a house of cards. You could lose your entire income, and I don't want that to happen. See, this question was asked to me by one of my followers called Heath. And Heath has had this negative experience where he used this tactic because he was instructed, and a lot of people are instructed to do so, right? But then his upline's upline left the company, took Heath's upline and his downline with him to the new company. Lost all of it. So that's a really shitty thing to do, but we need to be able to safeguard against that, right? Because some people will do shitty things. There's nothing we can do about it unless we strategically prepare for this, okay? So what the problem is often when we're taught this tactic, let's say that's you there, and we have your prospects here, P for prospects, Y for you, we often don't really build our own value at all. We just, as soon as we get any kind of attention, we go, well, man, my results aren't great. Let me kind of bat that off straight over here to my upline or their upline or another leader in the company. Now, that's a mistake. That's a mistake. What you must do is you must avoid this possibility. And instead, you must become kind of like the gatekeeper, right? These are gates, if you can't tell. These are the gates. And the only way they're getting through to these other people is through you. Through you, very specifically using your own brand. So, for example, this would be a great opportunity to teach you this. You're coming into my brand now, right? If you've not been following me for a while, if this is your first training, you are finding this information through me. I am building value with you, trust with you, rapport. By the end of this training, you'd be like, man, that makes sense. That's some great help. So even if at the end of it, I said, oh, and then go and check out this person for the advanced training or whatever, I'm still building some level of authority with you. And it's important that you do that by building your own brand and then moving prospects through that brand, not around it, to get to these higher earners if that's a tactic that you want to use. Now, it doesn't just stop there. That's the lazy way of doing it. Just say, oh, I've got some videos out there that promote my company. Yeah, I'm kind of doing that. What we must do is you must look to build this brand even stronger and this authority even stronger. And a way that you can do this is by creating a I'll just put FS, fast start training, also recapping events, and also I'll put TN for team name. So FS for fast start, recap, and then TN for team name. See, if you create your own fast start training for new representatives in your company, even if you're just listing what the company's already putting out there, you are the first face, voice, name that they remember when they got started. That's like, if someone introduces you to something and then gives you the initial steps, like if you start a job and someone looks after you, you're going to go back to them and feel comfortable, right? You have this relationship already. You can do that by doing that in your company. Also, when there's a big event or an incentive or something like that, recap it for the team. Create a YouTube video or a quick audio or go live in your Facebook group and just say, hey, this is the summary of what's happened at the event, or this is a summary of the new announcements. What does that do? Again, it positions you as someone they see as authority. That's the person in the know. It's a very powerful position to be in. Also, a team name. Imagine if there was a sporting athlete, right? And they signed to a team, they were part of a team, and that team gave them some additional coaching from someone outside of their staff to help with a particular area. They wouldn't just leave the team and just be them and the coach, right? Doesn't make sense. They want to be loyal. They want to stay part of the team. So if you can create a brand and a team name, people are going to feel loyalty to that, faith in that, and confidence in that, regardless of what your upline's doing. Now, while you're doing this, if you're smart, if you are doing good numbers, if you are building your own brand, if you are working on your own sales funnels and your content and things like that, then before you know it, people are going to start to see you as the main reason why they're in that team. Yeah, your upline and their upline is great, but man, you are the reason and you are the resource and you are the confidence booster that they're looking at. So if you can take care of that, build your own brand straight away, do these things I mentioned, and all the time be accelerating that growth, you're going to find that even if somebody leaves the company, they're going to come to you for confidence as opposed to behind your back to the upline. And when you can say, hey, I'm staying, everything's A-okay, then you're going to keep that upline, or at least have a much better chance. Does that make sense, right? Does that make sense to do that? Not a lot of people are teaching you this because they don't care, to be honest. They'd rather, as long as they get a sign up, they're not bothered if it's you, the upline, whatever. I want to take care of you. I have no way trying, I'm not trying to recruit you or anything, so I'd rather teach you what creates a better business for you. Now, if you are wanting to learn how to do more things like this, if you're not getting this kind of instruction by your upline or by your company, and you're like, man, I want to dig into this kind of way of doing things, you can go to richardmatharoo.com/webinar. As if by magic, it's down the bottom there. I'll also stick it in the text area beneath this training, so you can just click on it. If you scroll a couple of lines down underneath here, you'll be able to see that. That's a free webinar you can register for. Pick the time and date. I've got a few available this week. It's how I've sponsored 30 to 45, even more sometimes, people every single month, over 700 now, using this type of strategy, a more modern and more secure and predictable strategy. I mean, I went from 328 no's in a row in 3 different MLM companies to that 700 people, and also becoming the top international income earner in that company, 3rd best recruiter, 3rd fastest growing team. I can teach you all of that on that webinar, give you a great heads up and a great head start on things. So as always, go create a day in a life that counts. Always have more desires than excuses. I hope you gain some value from this training, and if you make it, I'll see you over on that free webinar. Bye for now.